What's up YouTube? Austin coming at you with Vaporleaf.com. Today we're going to be talking about the iStick 100 TC from Eleaf. So let's go ahead and take a drag on this real quick and then we'll go ahead and jump down in and see what you get. Alright, here we are down and close with the iStick 100 TC from Eleaf. So we'll just go ahead and pop the box here. So you get the device, and then underneath the foam you're going to get a user's manual and a charge cable. So we'll just go ahead and throw those back in there, and we're just going to focus, whatever. And we're just going to focus on the device itself. So to go over a couple physical features real quick, you have your up and down button, you have a menu button, you have a charge port as well as the updating port. It's a dual purpose port on the bottom. You have a 510 and a lockout on the top. Then on the back you have a little bit of venting and obviously the screen on the front, didn't mention that before. And then on the sides here, these both pop off and these are where your batteries go. We'll talk about that in just a second here. And it doesn't matter which side the doors go on, it can go on either side. And then on the top it also has a physical lockout switch. And now what that physical lockout switch is that one of these battery doors, specifically the one with the lockout switch on it, is your button. I'm not sure if you can hear, but you can see that that's your button. So when you lock it out, that prevents you from actually firing the device. You can still hear a click, but it stops you from firing the device there. So I'll go ahead and unlock that really quickly. Now, this is going to be wired in parallel, which means you can run a single battery in it. So I can just throw the one battery in it, and it turns the device on. So you can see that it turns the device on there. And when you're pressing the device itself, it's just clicking this little button right there, so you can see that you could still fire it just like that. Now, one thing to mention, when you're just using one battery in it, the highest wattage you can achieve is going to be 70 watts. When you add the second cell in, that's going to make raise the ability to 100 watts. And then we'll just go ahead and pop the doors on. I have that one upside down. Now you will notice on the door here that this side is just plain, and then this side has these two little notches up top. Now those two notches are what are going to go up near your 510, and that's what actually provides the lockout. So you can see right now, actually let me go ahead and screw a tank onto it so you can see what I'm talking about here. So right now I'm firing the device. Hopefully you can hear that. And then when I lock it out, I am not able to. I'm squeezing that. You can hear the little bit of a click, but it is not firing. And then once again, just unlock it, and she starts firing again. So this is a temp control tank, so I am running in temp control here. I have it at 600 degrees, and this is in one of the TCR modes. And we'll go ahead and go over the modes here real quick before I explain what TCR is. So to change through the modes, that little menu button right there, we'll just, let's see how much I can get this in focus. So we're in M1 right now. Hold down that center button, M2, M3. Now we're into power mode. Bypass mode, which is basically just a mechanical mode. It bypasses regulation but still has some protections to it. Then you have nickel, titanium, stainless steel, and then back to the TCR M1. So I'm not going to go over the nickel and titanium because I've gone over that in plenty of other videos, but the TCR is fairly new. With the TCR, it stands for temperature coefficient of resistance. Now, what that means, and let me actually pull that book back out because I'll kind of use that as an explanation process. But nickel, titanium, stainless steel, and nickel iron are going to have different TCR value ranges, and I'll show you how to adjust that and everything. But here's the ratings for you. So we have nickel, you want to be between 600 and 700. Titanium, you want to be between 300 and 400. Nickel iron, you want to be between 300 and 400. And then stainless steel in either 303, 304, 316, or 317, you want to be between 80 and 200. Now, how do you change that? So what we're going to do is we're actually going to turn the device off, and let's get this back in focus. There we go. And we're going to go ahead and turn the device off, and then we're going to hold the fire button and the up button simultaneously till it pops into that. Now, right now it's on M1, so I can change it to M2, M3, go back to M2, M1, or we can just cycle through them. But so we'll go to, let's say, M2 here, because I had already set M1 for nickel. So we'll go ahead and go to M2 there. Then we'll click the fire button, and that'll move us over. Now, they're all set at 120 to begin with. So since this is nickel, again, we're going to set it between 600 and 700. So I'll just go ahead and go up. 4, 5, 601. So I'll go ahead and drop that to 600. Actually, since I had the other one on 600, I'll go ahead and raise this one up to 700. 700 right there. And then once it goes away, it's locked in. So then just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And we are in the M1 right now, so let me go ahead and hit the fire button there, and it'll move us over into the M2 there. Now, to adjust your wattage, because you can see we're set at 42 watts right there, and then it's at the 600 degrees. So let's say I want, well, went past it, but let's say I want 500 degrees at, let's say, 50 watts. So to go up in wattage, we're going to hit the press and hold the menu button and the up button. And you can see it scrolls, and we are now at 49.5, so I'm going to click it a few more times. So 49.6, 49.7, 49.8, 49.9, and then 50. And if you wanted to go down, you'd just hit the menu button and the down button. So if you press and hold them, it will scroll. If you just tap it, it'll do it 10th at a time. So we're now set at 500 degrees at 50 watts. Go ahead and screw the tank in there. And we are now firing. Oh. And it's vaping great. Let's see here. If you press and hold the directional buttons at the same time, it will lock, which means that you cannot adjust the wattage, but you are still able to fire the device. And then if you turn the device off, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then press both of the directional buttons, it will flip the screen. Alright, let me turn it back on here. Now you have to bear with me because I always forget which one it is. I believe if you hit the fire button and the up button at the same time, let me see. Okay, so if you hit the fire button and the up button at the same time, it will lock your resistance, and do the same thing to unlock your resistance, which is really handy for temp control. I don't necessarily lock my resistance. I don't seem to have much of an issue with it, but if you have a hard time with consistency in the vape, you definitely do want to lock it when it's in temp control modes. Then if you hit the fire button and the down button, it will go into stealth mode, which means when I fire it, oh, new coil, same coil, it is the same coil. So when I fire it, the screen goes out. And then to get out of that, once again, just hit the fire button and the down button. So you will occasionally get that new coil, same coil reading that I got there momentarily. If you're using a temp control, you want to make sure that if it ever asks you that it's a cold coil or a room temperature coil when you're doing that. If you've been firing on it for a while and then it asks you, always say that it's the same coil, because nickel and titanium and all temp control resistance, honestly, the higher in temperature it gets, the higher the resistance gets, or the resistance moves around. At least for nickel, the higher the temperature, the higher the resistance gets. I'm not as positive with titanium and some of the other materials. So you always want to set the resistance. If it's asking new or same coil, you always want to make sure that you're doing that with a cold coil. If it's a hot coil, you just want to say same coil. If it is a room temperature coil, go ahead and do a new resistance on it, because that is reading the accurate resistance. Alright, so that's about it. So let's go ahead and jump back up and finish this up. Okay, so that was the iStick 100 TC from Eleaf. Cool little device. I've always liked these buttons where you just push the side of it and it fires it. And the physical lockout, I love. It's fantastic. I wish more devices had a physical lockout to it, because you just flip that switch, you throw it in your pocket, and you know it is not going to auto-fire in your pocket. It's not going to get hit 5 times and turn on accidentally, though I will say that is rare. But even then, a lot of people don't like doing the 5 quick clicks to unlock it and lock it. It's just a quick, simple flip it, vape, and then lock it back up, and it's not going to fire anymore. So I really, really do like that. I do like that you can charge through the device. Now, word of warning, it does say in the manual that you need to make sure that the 2 batteries are within 0.3 or 0.03 volts away from each other, so it does not have a balance charger in it. So that being said, I don't recommend charging through the device. In a pinch, you can, but I mean, you want to definitely have married batteries. Buy 2 new batteries, stick them in there, charge them up. Honestly, they should be fully charged. You should fully charge them before you put them into the device, because at that point you know they're at the exact same charge level. They're going to go through the exact same amount of load the entire time. And that's really the only way I would recommend charging through the device. And even then, you're going to kill the batteries quicker that way than if you charge them externally. So, especially since this device doesn't have the balance charger, I really do recommend just charging it externally. You're going to get a longer life out of your batteries. You're going to get a more consistent vape out of it. So that's going to be the best way to do that. But in a pinch, you can charge through the device. Let's say you're on a road trip, or you're just somewhere where your battery dies and you happen to have a charger with you, or a charger available for you. You can definitely charge through the device that way. I hope that my explanation of temperature coefficient of resistance is making sense. If it doesn't, go ahead and throw a comment down of throw a comment in the comment section on what's confusing you or what parts you're unsure of, and I'd be more than happy to talk to you about that. You're more than welcome to give us a call or shoot us an email as well. We can help you out that way. Or if you're in the Denver metro area, please stop by. We'd be happy to help you and see you. So that is the iStick 100 TC. So let's go ahead and take a drag and we'll finish this up. So if you like the video, guys, make sure to hit that like button. And as always, make sure to hit that subscribe button to get the latest and greatest videos. You guys have a wonderful day. Bye.